Hello, good morning. It is 8:27. And I just woke up recently. It's like, well, I say that. It's like actually. I think I woke up at like man, how long have I been awake? Like 6:50 or something? Um yeah, I fell asleep at around 11. And so waking up at like 6:50, I'm like, but that's just around 8 hours. So I'm trying to be quiet because, you know, it's still pretty early. So I'm thinking people are still sleeping. So even though I saw the new temporary roommate next to me leave, so I think really the only person is the one on the other side of me. So because I'm in like a corner, and so then there's one in front, and then there's one to the right, which I just heard the one to the right coughing. So whatever. Anyway, so man, yesterday was like the the quickest that I've kind of alchemized. Um, those like random feelings that just pop up, and it's like I don't know if I've really explained. Um, like you guys got to see the process. I kind of let them out. I hear them, and I kind of analyze like, okay, is this actually like me? Is this something else? Like what is this? And stuff that lingers a little bit afterwards is what tends to be like, okay, this is more me. Um but yeah, basically I don't know. I started um doing the writing down of everything, and I think that was really good. Um I liked like sharing that moment because um, it kind of shows what I do in real time uh, when I'm dealing with something that just like pops up. Because at first, you know, a long time ago, it was like very jarring and it would fuck me up for like months. Um, and then slowly over time, I got better at like recognizing what it was right away. I'm like, oh, okay, alchemize this. Oh, okay, alchemize. And so, like in South Carolina, I ended up, basically I did it within a day where I just, I had my like freak out panic attack moment, and then that was it. Yesterday, I didn't even panic. It was just like, okay, I understand. Let me let out these things. And so I think that was a big shift where I was fully in control of the process the whole time, as opposed to kind of feeling out of control during moments. And there's nothing wrong with feeling like, out of control a little bit with like letting stuff show up. That's not even really a big deal. But anyway, um, so yeah, waking up today, I'm like, okay. At first, I was trying to find like a spa place, and I'm like, oh, I should do something, even though I should do something by resting. It's like, um, you know, the one that I was like, oh, this seems fine. I click on it and they're closed. And I'm like, okay, I get it. I get it. I really need to just rest here and relax. So, so that's what I'm gonna do. But yeah, I really liked filming all those videos this week. The five divine videos, the Dear Divine Partner videos. Those were really fun. So I'm definitely gonna do more of those. I don't think I'm gonna do that today. Not because I don't want to, but because I think the main thing I need to be doing is actually just like even now, I'm literally I have my phone connected to my computer. I was uploading all of the videos from the past few days. Then I was I'm currently rendering a video, and I just finished uploading a video, and I had paint out where I was making thumbnails. And I'm like, this isn't really rest. But like, I want to get it done. And so just getting it done in the morning, like, it won't take too much time. Um, and having it all uploaded, it'll be helpful. So, not that I can't do it tomorrow or the next day or whatever, but like, it's nice to have a buffer. But, and a lot of it's passive. But, I think that's the most work I'm gonna do. Um, I've been listening to a few, listened to one, or no, I listened to two readings in the morning, and, they were fine. Um, I can definitely tell that my Achilles tendon is still bothering me. It's better, but like, I shouldn't be walking on it today much. So I'm not going to. I'm just gonna rest. Um, and it's so funny. I talked about this week about me resting, and about how this whole week is, oh, it's a week of rest because I don't have much going on. And yet I went and walked like between 15 and 20,000 steps every day for the entire week. So it's like, I can tell that the issue is me running myself into the ground, either mentally, physically, or emotionally, or spiritually, or whatever, right? And that what I'm I don't know why I'm like fucking around with my hair. It doesn't fucking matter. But the hmm, the lesson, the ultimate lesson here, where I literally had to get like fucking like nailed to the fucking bed in order to actually like finally like rest. And even then I was like, I don't want to fucking rest. um it's like my whole life, and I'm not exaggerating when I say like I would say, yeah, most of my life, from like, I don't know, like 10, 12, something like that, on to, well, infinity. Fucking, you guys see me resting, so you can tell that it's a problem. But I've always felt like I needed to be doing something. And it definitely, I don't know, it feels so wrong to not to literally do nothing. And I think a lot of it is there was a large period, um, about like 6-ish months, um, where I like effectively Rob maxed. You guys know what I talked about Rob maxing before, but like I effectively for 6 months like Rob maxed in my bed, and it was like in a weird way that was one of the hardest periods because I was literally drowning in depression. Like you think, I don't even know how to describe the the utter disregard for everything and just laying there. And I feel like if it would have been impossible for me to do anything during that period of time. It was like a deep hermiting. And during that period, it's like COVID made it a really easy excuse. Well, the fucking world is shut down, so it's okay for me to do this. Oh my god, is my computer is like overheating. It's like I'm doing too much. Help. Okay. I'm trying to move it so that it doesn't it can warm another section of the bed. um all right. That should be good enough. Anyway, but yeah. So during that period, it's like maybe I need to make a video on like true like maybe I need to make another video on depression because I made one. I'm pretty sure I posted it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's there. And but I think I need to explain the depths, what it feels like, and yeah, just go into more detail on it because I feel like I didn't really do it justice in that video because I think I was doing more broad strokes. Like I talked about it. I did some detail, but it's like maybe I should do a self-hatred video because that video, yeah. Okay. Because it's tied in. That's the thing. The like depression and the self-hatred are all tied in. And it's really easy to fall into this like self-hatred loop, because we judge ourselves so harshly for decisions we've made, or whatever. um I wish I would have done this, I wish I would have done that, I could have done this differently, whatever it is. But yeah, that's just you're kind of self-sabotaging. That's okay. I understand. I need to do self-sabotage, and I need to do self-hatred. I think I'm going to write those down just because I don't want to forget. I got this little fan, not for the wind that it generates, but because it sounds like a computer, a computer fan, and so it helps me fall asleep, uh, by having that white noise in the background. I also have a little night light over there. Oh, I just fucking poked myself with the pen. Pen was really sharp. Jesus. Okay. Where am I gonna write this? Aha! I found a page. Okay. Video. I understand the video stuff. It is work, right? So self hatred. And then what was the other one? Oh, self-sabotage. So something I want to point out, I don't think people really understand. If you haven't really analyzed how you do things in life, you may not realize that you're self-sabotaging. I'm not saying everyone does it, but I think I'll just do a brief thing so that, if I end up not making the video for a while, something will be out there. So self-sabotaging. It can look like anything, really. But at its core, what we do when we self-sabotage is we okay, I'll give you an example to start out with, and then I'll kind of branch into it. Say you are someone who feels like they work really hard in their job, and you want a promotion. So what you do is you're like, okay, I'm going to tell the boss, hey, I'd like a promotion. Or maybe there's a job opening for a promotion. You're like, oh, I'm going to apply for this. Whatever it is, right? Maybe it's that you just want more money in your job. Doesn't matter. And so you go up and you make the inquiry, you apply, whatever it is. And, maybe you just get the promotion or the thing. Cool. If that happens, great. But a lot of times, before you do the like step towards going there, some like thoughts start coming and creeping into your mind of like, do I deserve this promotion? Maybe, yeah. I've worked so hard. Yeah, but Linda across the way, she's been doing really good too. And she's been here longer. Maybe she's going to get the promotion instead. I mean, do I even really deserve this promotion? Like, I've only been here for 6 months, and yeah, I've worked really hard, but. And so you do this. Now, again, these are all self fictional. Like, I don't fucking know any Linda or whatever the fuck I said. But, so you're doing this, and you're planting seeds of self sabotage by like trying to talk yourself out of your worthiness. And again, not everyone does this, but there are quite a lot of people who will go through this process of convincing themselves that they're not worth the thing or they don't deserve it or whatever. Jeez. Okay. Sorry about that. But so when that happens, it's like you're telling the universe, and it's like you're putting into the universe this idea that you do want the job or the promotion or the career advancement or whatever, the money, but you're also saying, yeah, but I don't deserve it, so I shouldn't have it. When you do this, you're giving mixed signals. So, of course, there's going to be a moment when it's like, okay, well, do you or don't you want this? Here's the like opportunity to show whether you want this or not and whether you believe this is for you. And so you'll have that meeting with the boss or whatever. You'll do the application. And coming in, you're like, I don't know if I deserve it, blah, 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 whatever. And these like self doubt stuff, it's like little needles that you're putting into yourself that you don't even feel because you don't really realize what you're doing. It's all micro. It's like little micro things you're doing. So immediately, you're not exuding confidence in this, and your boss or whoever it is that's doing the interview or whatever, they will pick up on that so fast. Even if they don't outwardly show it, internally, they can feel something's not right. And so maybe initially they're like, yeah, John has done really good. And, John's only been here 6 months, but yeah, he's been really strong. And we want him on the team. We want to keep him here. We want to make him happy. Maybe we can throw him a bone, whatever it is, right? And John walks in the door. John is exuding this aura of, I don't deserve it. So the boss, or whoever it is looking, and they're like, I don't know. Today, I'm not feeling like this is right. So there's inquiries. Okay. Let's find out if he's actually worthy. of whatever this thing is, or if he's the right fit, or however the fuck it shows up. And by the end of it, it's like you've almost talked yourself out of the thing because internally you don't feel ready for that. You don't feel like you deserve it. You don't feel like, oh, maybe I just gotta work harder or whatever it is. And the boss is like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna give that to Linda. I think she's been here longer and it actually just makes sense. I don't know what I was thinking. Uh, and so, come up in 6 months and we'll talk and figure it out. This is self-sabotage on a micro scale. And you can do this with anything. And so what ends up happening is you get this feedback that you don't deserve it. You were the one who decided you didn't deserve it. No one else did. All the energy swirling around you told the people around you that you didn't deserve it because you didn't feel like you deserved it. Most people can't feel the energy they're exuding. It's like a very subtle, like, it's a knowing internally that people will pick up on, and it'll show up as like an intuition feeling, whatever. And they don't understand it's an energy thing or there's an energy transfer going on, but like it's still happening. And so they'll still pick up on it. That's why decisions that seem sure at first suddenly shift around at the last second. And it can happen where you go to like 10 interviews, you've done the battery of tests, everyone's so hyped for you, and then the day or two before the last interview, you suddenly don't feel like you deserve that thing. So you start sabotaging internally. And there's a lot of imposter syndrome and all of this stuff. And then you go to the last meeting and they don't call you back. And you're like, what the fuck was that? They just said last week that they liked me. That's the fucking company. Fuck the company. And you'll get this feedback over and over and over again that it's somehow you're a problem. There's some problem with you. Maybe you haven't worked hard enough. Maybe you haven't this, that, and the other. And that's not it at all. It's not that you haven't worked hard enough. It's that you don't believe you should have it. So because you don't believe you should have it, you won't have it. It's that simple. So, so yeah, self-sabotage. I know because I've literally done this my whole fucking life. Okay. Um, and I've very recently broken out of this. I know I'm worth, and I know I deserve, and I understand um my value. And it's important to, once you understand your value, and this is not about being conceited or selfish or whatever. It's about deciding that you're not going to accept less than what you deserve. And what you deserve is what you decide you deserve. And if you don't feel like you deserve something, you need to ask yourself why. And if there's sometimes, there genuinely might be something where it's like, I deserve to be a millionaire. And it's like, okay, well, have you done the things that would make you a millionaire? Well, no, I just kind of wanted to show up. Well, okay, that's a bit different than someone who has like done all the steps to like do the investing and do this, that, the other, and like, um, maybe they made a business and they're like, okay, I've been like working really hard on my business and I deserve for it to kind of like be more well known. I give really good service. Like, these are totally different things. So I'm not saying, um, you know, hand in the air, give me $1 million, and then it pops into your head or it pops into your hands, right? That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you need to be the person that has the thing, and then the thing will appear. And if you believe that you're not that person, then you're not that person. That is the self sabotage. Not believing that you deserve to be that person. And this is, again, this is all the internal wiring. And as soon as you understand that you can be anyone, and that what you truly need to be doing is listening inside to what it is that lights you up, the things that get you excited. That's what you should be doing, whatever that is. Doesn't matter if you think, well, it's silly. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. Why? You've told yourself you can't do it, so you're not going to do it. What if you just started saying, I can do it, and you do everything in your power to do it? Um, there's something I've observed over time, and it's this idea that the people who truly make it in life, and what I mean by make it is do the dream thing, whatever their dream thing is. They're people who both believed in themselves when no one else would and consistently showed up as the person that was doing that thing. Here's an example. A painter who never paints is not a painter. Someone who makes YouTube videos once a year is not a YouTuber. A streamer who streams once and then says, I didn't get any views, it's not for me. That's not a streamer. You putting your entire soul and being into the thing that lights you up, that is how you make things happen. And it's going to be effortless. It's going to feel wrong. It's going to feel like you're cheating because of how easy it is. But that's the point. It's supposed to feel easy to be yourself. You don't have to struggle to like put the different masks on and then switch them out. You don't need to do that. Showing up as yourself brings this energy where people can feel it and they get drawn. to the things that you do because you care about them. You care about all the little details. I'm sure that we've gone through an experience where we've gone and eaten somewhere or um, been at, like, you know, a building and something just feels off. And you don't know why at first, but you start noticing the small details that are just off. An example with food, the difference between a well cooked meal and a meal that looks well cooked but tastes awful is substantial. And you'll know right away the moment you take a bite of some food. Looks so awesome. It's an Instagram worthy picture. But then the moment you bite into the food, it tastes awful. You could get better at 7-Eleven. And there's nothing wrong with 7-Eleven, but we all know 7-Eleven is not top quality food, okay? So, you know, it's this, it's like, this is the details. You can put the mask on to make the food look like it's going to taste really good, but it tastes awful. No one's going to want to eat that food. It doesn't matter how beautiful the package looks if the inside is full of shit, right? And conversely, your food can look vile, but can taste amazing, and people will come and eat it. Now, obviously, the best is to have both the internal and external look really good and taste really good, right? That's where you get the really high quality stuff. But you got to start from the internal stuff. It's the food has to taste good first. If you want to be a chef, the first thing you learn is not how to fucking decorate your food. It's how to chop vegetables, how to like cook the different meats properly, how to season, how to, whatever. Even just something as simple as like sharpening your knife. What kind of knife should you use? The type of cutting board you're going to use. Where are you cooking? Is the cooking space clean? These are details. Individually, they may not make a big difference, but when they're all combined together, they make a drastic change in how the food comes out. If you cook your food on a dirty pan, you're only going to make it so far because the dirty pan is holding you back. This is why details matter. And it's the same thing for self-sabotage. It's the same thing for getting the things that you actually want in life. When you pay attention to every detail on how you present whatever it is you're doing, the outcome there's no way it can be wrong when every detail is in order for you. And sure, some people are not going to like what you do. That's fine. No problem. But it's all about the details. And you only can get that detail oriented on things you love doing. It doesn't feel like a chore to sharpen your knife as a chef because you love being in the kitchen. Because you want and desire to put out food that shows yourself, your inner self. You want to see happy customers. And happy customers keep coming back because they can feel the attention to detail you have with your food. And this is anything. It's not just being a chef, but it's a really good example. You know, imagine someone trying to cook with vegetables from the fucking sewer. Like like what are you doing? You can't spice up fucking, rotten vegetables or rotten meat or whatever, right? You can only do so much. Even the best chef in the world can't do miracles with ingredients that just are off and rotten and will get you sick. And you know what those ingredients are? From a proverbial sense, coming back to the self sabotage. Those ingredients are the self talk that you have every moment that you do things. What are you saying inside? Is it, I'm a piece of shit? Or is it, I'm awesome? And I'm not trying to say to like blow your ego out of proportion. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you do a good job, pat yourself on the back for doing a good job. If you see someone else do a good job, let them know, hey, I saw that you did a good job. It's a small thing, but it makes a big difference. Most people don't compliment each other enough. They don't greet each other enough. And you don't know how small things like that make a huge difference in someone's day. That's why I go out of my way to make sure that when I see someone, I try to say hi. When I see, like, there are these guys that it was 2 days of putting this, what's it called? They tore apart and put in a new driveway. And I saw them pouring the concrete and they were smoothing it out. And, I saw the different stages throughout the day. And, I said something twice. I was like, wow, you guys really like broke all that apart, flattened it out. You're doing a great job. And then when it was finally finished, I was like, wow, you guys did such a good job. It looks awesome. And it's like, it didn't take me much time to notice what they did. Sure, I didn't have to say anything, but like, why not? If you feel like someone did a good job, say they did a good job. And I'm not saying to say something that you don't mean. I'm saying if you think someone does a good job, tell them. It matters way more than you think. Imagine the amount of times that you've done a good job on something and no one said anything, and you feel like you've gone unnoticed. Now, think about all the people that you interact with where you see them doing a good job and you say nothing. Why the fuck are you not saying anything? Just say something. It takes 2 seconds. And the more you do that, the more you perpetuate this like healthy behavior. And you just do it naturally. It doesn't take any effort on my part to say something because that's genuinely how I feel and I just say how I feel. That's it. you know? So, and the reason you do this, not only is it for them, but this is for you too, because you are being more of yourself. You thought it in your head, but you never said it. So the more you start saying the positive things in your head, it's a cycle that keeps coming back. And you can start being positive to yourself as well. When you do a good job for you, do the same thing. Wow, I did a really good job today. Oh, wow. I walked 10,000 steps. Huge. And you do these little things, and they totally change the overall aura that you're exuding to people, and people can feel it. Huh, something's different about John today. I don't know what, but he just seems happier. I don't know. Or have you noticed? John's been really complimenting people recently. It's kind of awesome. Like, you know, yeah, it's pretty cool. People notice. And it's the mental hygiene. We take care of our body. We got to take care of our mind too. You can't have a bunch of junk in there tearing you down. You don't want to fight against yourself. That's self sabotage. So clean out the junk. And when you do, you will feel so much better. It's like the difference between driving in a car full of fucking garbage that you haven't cleaned out in 6 months and driving in a car that's been professionally detailed. It's the same car, but the difference on how you feel in that car is so drastic. It's the same thing for your mind. Imagine walking around where you haven't taken a shower in like a month or a year. You haven't taken a shower in years. You've, wore the same clothes. There's like tons of stains on them. You didn't even care about putting the right socks on or shoes. So you're just mismatched. Your pants have holes in them. The moment you walk next to someone, they're going to be like, whoa, this guy smells so bad. Like, holy crap. And you don't even realize because you've been like this for so long. But people can smell it. It's the same thing, but it's energetically. It's like you smell energetically when you're constantly toxic inside to yourself. Same thing when it comes to letting these toxic thoughts, like, not only are they inside, but you start saying them outside. People are like, ew, I don't want to talk to that guy. He's saying all sorts of he's just an asshole. Like, why would I want to talk to that guy? He always nitpicks people and he's rude and it's just I just don't like talking to him. That's the feeling you get around people who don't have the mental hygiene, who aren't cultivating positivity inside their head. And sure, you can say, "Oh, well, it's I'm doing it to other people, not myself." There's no fucking way. If you're doing it to other people, there's no fucking way you're not doing it to yourself. Be honest with yourself. So yeah. Again, attention to detail. Now imagine you doing this with your dream life. You start planning individual things that you enjoy doing. You start talking to yourself really positively. You start talking to others positively. Those things that you used to think were not for you, now you feel like, yeah, I do deserve to be happy. I do deserve to do the things I love. Dude, people are gonna look at you and be like, you're a totally different person. I don't know what you did, but I want some of it. And that's the point. That's why I'm like, I've spent 50 minutes talking about this. And I know you all can do that. Every single one of you that's watching this can go and check your mental landscape and see what's going on there. What have you let grow in there? If you need to do some weeding, okay, do some weeding. If you need to get a trash bag and start just throwing stuff away, yeah, do it. Clean it up. Doesn't have to be all messy in there. And it starts by just observing what you currently do. What are you observing? You're observing every single action you take. You just look at it. You don't have to judge yourself. You just say, where am I at? How often do I do these things? Maybe it's very subconscious. You don't even realize. And so you sit there and you observe. And then once you're done observing, you kind of look at it and say, okay, what can I change? You change one thing. Maybe you're really annoyed at this one person at work. Why? What's making you annoyed by them? Oh, well, they say this thing, or they do this thing, or they blah, 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 whatever. Why don't you be nice to them for a change? Maybe you being nice to them changes their attitude. You don't know until you try. And it doesn't hurt to be nice. And then, you slowly just do this. So, yeah. Okay, well, I'm probably still going to do a video on it, but that was a lot of the stuff I was thinking about. So, yeah. My computer's not in airplane, trying to fucking become a bomb and overheat. So, I think everything's done. But yeah, I'm gonna let you guys go. Hang in there. I hope this stuff is helpful. I know it's helpful for me, and if it's helpful for me, it's probably helpful for someone else. So, yeah. All right. See you guys later. Bye. Hey guys. It is 1:29. And I just decided to make a video in the middle of I say middle of the day. It's the latter part. Well, it's just, it's the beginning afternoon, I guess. But Yeah, I had this reading that I watched that just made me inspired to hop on and talk about this. I was looking earlier at numbers, and you know average numbers for like the channel and whatnot. And yeah, I should probably I should date and time this. So it's I said it's 1:30, but it's Saturday, April 25th, 2026. And let me real quick. Sorry, my hair's a mess. I still haven't taken a shower today. I've been pretty lazy. Enjoying the rest, as it were. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry. I just wasn't sure. I thought someone was knocking, but I think they're just doing stuff. Okay, so as of today, oh, I can click on it by views. Okay. All right, so this is actually really funny to look at. So the day 27 video has 27. My VRC video has 21. That's second. Oh darn. Day 13 has 14. It had 13 for the longest time. That was so funny. My past one has 10. Wow, that day one video has 12 at this point. That's funny. Yeah. And then, most of it's we're looking at like sub 10 for most of the other stuff. And currently I have 100. Is that, wait, what? There's no way I have 108 videos. Is that actually true? $50, 100. Wow, what the fuck? I have 108 videos? When did I pass 100 videos? What the heck? When did that happen? Okay, well, I don't even remember doing. Well, I mean, I guess to be fair, I'm on day 81, so that plus all the side content, that makes more sense. Um hmm. Some of these videos I'm like, people are missing out on not watching some of these videos I have. Just because they're older doesn't mean they don't have some really important stuff that I've put in there. Um the most important video you will ever watch. I feel kind of cringe titling it that way, but that's fine. It only has 4 views. I'm like, guys, I wouldn't title it this if I didn't think that it was important to understand. But well. Anyway, okay. So the reason I'm documenting all this now is because I know it's not going to stay like this for very long. And it's it's kind of related to the well, okay. I'll start by saying the video I was watching reminded me of the idea that I really have been shrouded for a while from a lot. Both like from a protection standpoint and from like just being seen. Um it's kind of like the early gestation period, where no one really knows what's happening because I needed to kind of naturally get to where I'm at without any crazy stuff, because it would totally change the dynamic of how people see all of this. So, okay, here, let me give you an example. And again, currently, I have no fucking clue what is coming for me. I don't have like, no one has like messaged me. I don't have any like super plans. The biggest plans are going to Missouri and then going to Long Island. That's it. Like, oh, and like moving from where I'm currently at. So like, I'm not talking about here. I'm talking about the place I'm renting. So those are the plans. That's it. And I've been very forthcoming throughout all my videos about like, everything. So, and again, like, currently no job. Aside from, I'm like, to be fair, at this point, with 107 videos, like I can say that I'm very consistent with YouTube. So, but again, I understand that this is all for documentation purposes, unlike the spiritual journey. It isn't about making money or any of that stuff. Um, and I think it's also important for my growth to be able to document the way I'm doing things. So, because then I can look back and kind of see like what states I was in. But my neck's kind of doesn't have a very good. There we go. I'm kind of just leaning, sprawled out. Anyway, okay, so so there's that. Um, I've done, again, I've documented, and I mean, hell, can I? I kind of don't want to show analytics. I mean, I guess you're just gonna have to trust me on this. And I think well, here. Okay, hold on. I think I have a way of doing this. Okay. Oh wait, this is actually gonna be totally. Am I doxing anything? Uh huh. Do I care at this point about this? This is kind of a dox. Okay, let me see. All right, I'm going to attempt to do this. Damn. I kind of want to fix this. Sorry, I'm just adjusting this so that then I don't accidentally dox anything. Boom, okay. Okay, I don't see anything that I could accidentally fuck up with this. So, okay. Let me switch in. Oh, here, I guess I can do this. Should show up. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Okay. So you can see, the journey day 27. Thanks, VRC. You can see the views. Here, I'll zoom out a little bit. You can also see the time at the bottom, 1:41, 4:25, 26. And here, I'll do some scrolling. Man, this is weird to scroll through my. Okay. $50 out of 108, just to show all the videos. I have some videos that are not public yet because they'll show up when I start hitting the, like I'm still uploading Divine Partner video. You can see that that's scheduled for the 28th. I'm trying to make sure that the rest of the Divine Partner videos are all scheduled. Okay. All right. Let me switch back. Okay, so that's all the videos that I have so far. I feel like I've done a good job at just showing. Some of them are still scheduled, but go back to the date. Okay, there we go. But the reason I'm doing this, and because I've done this before, but I'm just documenting. No one fucking sees my videos now, and that's a good thing, because I'm aware there's going to be fuckloads of eyes on this channel as soon as everything kind of plays out. And so it's like understanding that genuinely it's just been like, I've just been living my life. And it's all about my internals. The secret to me getting to where I'm at and to getting to where I'm going to be is the internal work. I've spelled it out so many times on this channel. The videos that I've made on like the wizard path, it's the inner work. Call it whatever you want. I called it shadow work sometimes. I call it the wizard path. Doesn't matter. It's just all made up bullshit. At the end of the day, it's inner work. And so understanding that the inner work brings the reality that resonates with the inner work externally into our reality. That concept is at the core of why things have played out the way they are. And I'm just saying, I'm aware that the whole reason things are playing out the way they are is literally for shock value. I totally get it. It's like, it's like I know, okay. It's kind of like, you know how animals before a thunderstorm can sense it? Think about that, but magnified by a fuckload. That's how it feels with the experience I'm going through. Where there's this impending change that is so big that I can't even fully see how big it is. And I can only guess, you know? I can guess, I can speculate. I don't fucking know how it's going to show up. I honestly, like, a lot of, like, most of me really wants to know. But that's part of the thing. The reason it's playing out this way is because it will help way more people if I don't fucking know what's going to happen. You know, I did this, like, prediction, the prophecy. And, you know, I made the little prophecy video. And yeah, it's just like I'm just so wrong on a lot of it. Uh and you know, I tried something different, and it's like I think a lot of it, especially in the first leg of the journey, that first leg, I I think genuinely there was a chance if I had met my friend's parents that things would be different in some way, but I didn't choose that path, so it didn't play out. And I know that sounds weird to say, and I'm not trying to justify me not getting it right. Because, like, clearly there was a lot in there that I just didn't get right. Um, but I think it's important to remember that the universe is kind of fluctuating, and we can make different decisions as we kind of move on. And so maybe at the time that was more aligned with what possibly could have happened. But then things shifted and it didn't happen that way. Um and you know, honestly, like, the only people that would actually know if something like that exists, I'm thinking more about specifically that, like, weird red, like, room with the stage with the person on the suit. Like, I don't remember too many details on it, but yeah, it's very possible that maybe they actually did do something like that or had an offer to go and do something like that. I don't fucking know. Um So they're kind of the only ones who would actually know. Maybe someday I'll ask out of curiosity, but um, even then, it's like maybe I just don't want to know. It's better that way. But yeah, my like it's all intentionally veiled for my protection, for the path's protection, and for the shock surprise value of effectively unveiling who the fuck is this person that randomly shows up. And it's like, think about if I hadn't made any of these videos and I was just doing my thing, and then I started making videos after it all happened, they'd be like, yeah, but we don't trust this person. Like, who the fuck, like, who is this guy? Like, how do we actually know that it's not just a staged bullshit thing or whatever the fuck it is, right? Um and so it's kind of like having it all kind of documented. Like, literally, especially in this last week, I literally just took the camera around everywhere and I was just filming everything I was doing. So it's like, yeah, I'd like, can't get more genuine than that. Like, I effectively was a live streamer without live streaming. Again, I didn't stream very long in that case, but like, you know, I I think it's important to just show that this is my life. This is like, yeah, I'm literally just YOLOing it and listening to my intuition. That's it. That's all that's happening. I don't, I don't have any other thing happening other than that. And I'm just learning shit as I go. Like, I'm like, oh shit, I need sunscreen. What? Like, which is stupid to, like, yeah, of course you need sunscreen if you're going to be in a state that has lots of sun, right? Um and it's just something so simple that I just didn't think about. And so I'm just learning over time. But yeah, I'm a 98% on Dear Divine Partner 4. And I get up to 5. And then, obviously today I did nothing. Maybe I could do it. You know what? I could still do a Dear Divine Partner. It could just be talking from here, because just because I'm not outside doesn't mean I can't do it. So maybe that'll be fun. I'll do a little one. It'll be reversed, because so the past few days, like Monday through Friday, it was like 3+ hour videos for that series, and then for the journey stuff, it was just like perfunctory, like 10-20 minute like check-ins, which is very short. Normally I go way longer than that. And then it swapped back, where yesterday I spent like an hour and a half or more, like, on the latter part of the video. So I don't know. And then today's video is pretty long too. I'm gonna have multiple parts. Wow. Um. Oh, by the way, today's food, just to kind of let you guys know, I ended up. I'm probably gonna DoorDash again, but like I ended up DoorDashing in the morning. I'm like, I hate doing it, but it's like I did the math, and it's about the same price for me to DoorDash as it is for me to Uber somewhere, eat, and then Uber back. So I'm like, well, I don't see there being like a real reason to not do that. And then, obviously people could say, well, why the fuck aren't you just making food? And I'm like, well, yeah, I could, but I'm trying to experience different food that's out here. It's nice to just try different stuff. Because if I wanted to have just my boring ass same meal that like gives me all my nutrients, like I could do that, right? Um, but I don't know. There's something about the variety that is really helpful. Anyway, switching hands. Okay. Um, I forgot. I actually need it lower. Okay, there we go. So I don't get the phone shadow. Because you get the phone shadow if I'm doing this. So that's why I do it so low. What was I saying? Um, yeah. I I guess I probably should. I haven't done a like recap for the week and talking about like what's going on, so I should do that. First, I really liked this Airbnb was so much better than the motel and even the hotel. The hotel was like okay, this place was not perfect because we shared a bathroom. Me and effectively potentially seven other people. But I think it's split between two levels where it's like 7, 6, 5, 4. Yeah, so we got 4 on the bottom and 3 on up top, I think. Which by the way, I've never gone upstairs. Um, no idea what it looks like up there. So I think I'm just gonna keep it that way. I think it's funny. It's like you lived there and for a week and you never even went upstairs. Yeah, the uh, the guy the guy that's next to me, he I think he cooks upstairs. But yeah, uh, I don't know. I'm just playing it by ear, and I don't need to go upstairs, so it's whatever. But I think this has been a great location. I've had 2 different spots for walking. One that's closer at about like 15-20 minute walk um, to like a decent grocery store and then a strip mall with a bunch of food. There's like a really cool. I wish I would have known sooner, but to be fair, I don't think I would have wanted to eat all you can eat sushi more. But there's an all you can eat sushi place that's really cool. Um, I don't like the idea of stuffing myself. I used to be someone who would just like, yeah, I'm gonna eat as much as I can and then feel sick afterwards. But it's like, no, I went there, I had 2 rolls, and I felt full. And it's like, you know what? There were like 8 pieces of sushi a piece. Fine, whatever. They were good, but um, I don't know. I think I've learned again. It's like every time I learn something new, and I'm just like, wow, like my alchemy is so on point now. It's like it goes so fast. I think that's the thing that's changed. I've gotten really good at being fast with the alchemy now, on just because I'm so like up to date and current with my emotions and feelings and thoughts and everything, that like something hits me and it doesn't take like fucking a week for me to buffer through it, because I don't have other things I'm processing. So it's like all my processing speeds on that one thing, and I can just boom, get it done. And like, well, you saw the video. Like, it took me like an hour and a half to like sort through that like cluster of emotions I was feeling. So that's great. And I'll say, there's one thing I am still working on is like taking a moment to pause when I feel a little overwhelmed about something, uh, so that then I can actually process it. But, I'm working on that. So, um, quick decisions are still not like my strong suit, but I am working on like figuring out a way to pause a quick decision, at least momentarily, for me to like work through it. But anyway, so I think my average walk time, or my average walking during this trip, in this second phase, has been between 10 and 15,000 steps. And then 2 days I went 20,000 or over. But that's huge. Like, I can't understate how big of a change that is, because, before the trip, even when I was at New York, my New York walking was like maybe 2 hours max. And there was a lot of like riding the subway in between. And that was a lot for me. And then coming back and backing off to like, sometimes I wouldn't even walk that day. And then I'd walk like, okay, well, I'm walking, for an hour or whatever. And an hour would be like the most I'd walk. But now it's like the minimum was 3 hours, the maximum was like 5. So I mean, and also the pace is not like, I'm not slow on my walk pace. I'm clipping at around a 20-minute mile. Sometimes it's a little bit longer, like 25 minutes. Just depends on if I have to stop for like lights or crossing streets or whatever. But I walk at around a 20-minute mile, which is pretty good. Considering, it used to be like a 30 to 35-minute mile. So that's something. Also, hills don't really get me as tired. Like, I've just noticed that the level of cardio has just increased by a lot. Um, so that's great. And I'm really curious to see what my weight looks like. I feel like I've probably lost 10 pounds at least. So I feel like I might even be in the 40s, like the 240s, which would be awesome. Um, Maybe, I don't know. But Even if I'm like right at like 250, I think that's like a huge success for these 2 weeks. Um, I'm just thinking about how like the plan for the suit was 235, and without even really thinking about it, I'm getting real close to that number. Like I feel like I'm like 15 pounds away from that number. Is that right? 235, 45, 50. Yeah. Which I'll just say, 15 pounds with the level of activity I've been doing. Now, to be fair, I am taking a rest today because my Achilles was bothering me. So, you know, I need to be careful about not overdoing it. However, getting the walking uh, to be pretty consistent is going to be really helpful. Because walking can just melt weight off of you. It's like, yeah, obviously the gym helps a lot with like keeping and maintaining muscle, um, and also growing muscle. However, you can walk by yourself or by itself, and it will melt weight off of you. Um, so, it's all about like moderate moderate activity level. Are you sweating? Is it like a decent pace? Are you out of breath? That kind of stuff. And like how long you're walking. So but I think about like going back and being like, yeah, just taking a walk to a store and then coming back, like maybe walking to the gym, because the gym was within like a mile and a half. It's like, oh, that's fucking nothing now. I could totally walk that and not have to use the car. I wouldn't have even thought about doing that before. So, it's just something to keep in mind of like, this is how you increase your activity level. But anyway, I've talked enough about that. I love all the birds. There's so many birds. Like, it's so cool. Um, and the squirrels. Fucking seeing deer, like, didn't expect that. Maybe going out at night again to see deer would be cool, but kind of don't want to. Like, I saw the deer, so I'll keep the night where it is. All of the big trees, there's like a different level of greenery and like shade and all of that stuff compared to other places. So it's great. Like, I love it. I don't know what it looks like during the winter. It's probably Twig fucking City, but like, um, I just love how big a lot of these trees are. It's so cool. So I'm glad about that. And mm, having a stable internet connection here has been really helpful in setting everything up. I'm just looking. Okay. So I got to upload yesterday's stuff, and then I'm caught up. Cool. Yeah. Which I've been doing really good about, for the most part, like, even if it's just a couple days, like, still catching up. So like, I have everything scheduled through the 29th. So that's 4 days. And then tomorrow's stuff, or sorry, yesterday's stuff would make it 5 days, and today's stuff would make it 6. So And it's kind of hard to get like today's stuff done today, just because it just means that I either do the videos early or I am uploading stuff at like fucking 10 o'clock at night. I kind of don't like interrupting my nightly routine in order to do that. So, but yeah, okay. So aside from that, I will say the room has been very consistently cool, which is great. Um, Maybe a little too cool occasionally, like at night. You know, now to be fair, the blankets I have, um, are good enough to keep me warm. Um, the only thing I kind of wish that I had a bigger secondary blanket is this secondary blanket is very small. It's like child sized, and I'm like, well, it covers most of me, so I guess put it on top of the bigger blanket, and then that generally is like enough. Um, um, Sharing bathrooms, that's an experience that I haven't had in a very long time, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is why I don't like sharing bathrooms. Look, nothing against anyone else. I enjoy I enjoy seeing all the random people that I interact with. However, it's like sharing a bathroom is rough, especially if it's like, oh my gosh, I have to go to the bathroom right now. Someone's in there taking a shower. Fuck, what do I do? Um, Now, I will just say, I've had that happen once. I was okay, but I realized if that ever happens again, which, to be fair, is pretty low considering it's today and tomorrow in the morning. And I've already done, like, I don't have to worry about cleaning clothes because I've already, they have a washer dryer, so I did the washer dryer stuff the first day I got here and then yesterday. So I'm really glad that I was able to wash all my clothes. That's just a big load off. And I think the other place I'm going to is a step up in terms of, I mean, to be fair, it costs about twice as much as this place for the same time, but it also is a different area and it's very close to like all the really fun stuff. And it's effectively an apartment that's just solo. Like, I'm not sharing anything. So I have like full cooking apparatus, which I definitely think I want to actually like do some cooking, which I haven't done in a very long time. You saw my jank cooking, which is effectively just throwing some stuff in the microwave. But I used to cook a lot. So bringing that back, especially because now I'm like, yeah, I'm okay with just, you know, eating meats. So it something that I've found interesting is it really is about the quality of food rather than the type of food in a lot of aspects. Like, don't get me wrong, it's like basically the standard throwing a bunch of veggies together for a salad or for a stir fry, and then having some fruit on the side, a variety of fruit, and then doing your protein, whether it be tofu or whatever protein you're going to be using. And then, boom, there it is. That's it. It's like simple. But I used to be able to cook a really good steak and prawns and shrimp and fish and scallops. Well, I never got really good at doing chicken just because I kind of just didn't like chicken as a protein, because it always was just so dry. Um, but I realized a lot of that has to do with, like, what type of meat you're using, and then how it's cooked, and there's a lot of ways to make it better. But yeah. Um, but even when it's cooked really well, it's still fucking bland as shit. So it's like, it's not my favorite meat. I think also, like, letting go of the identity of vegan, vegetarian, whatever. It's like, it's not about, like, I realized I was so married to the idea that I had, it's like, for myself, it's like, it felt like I was, like, failing if I ate meat in some way. But then I slowly kind of, like, eased out of that, because, like, I'm not eating specifically for an identity. I'm not trying to prove anything. And so, as long as I'm eating clean and healthy, whatever it's going to look like, it'll look like. So, and I'm not going to worry about it. So that's something that I'm really happy that I kind of got over during this part of the trip. Going in literally just, like, YOLOing a giant steak. I say giant, it was 12 ounces, I think. But YOLOing a 12-ounce steak at Outback when I haven't eaten meat, or when I hadn't eaten meat in, like, so long, years. I think there was, like, one or two instances where I had meat in those years, but, and then kind of, helping correct a lot of the imbalances that I was having with my diet, to where I feel fine. Like, I feel actually really good. But yeah. Never ended up finding a Lego set. I think the one Lego set for the whole trip is fine. If I end up finding another Lego set, that'd be cool. But, I'm not too married about the idea of needing another Lego set, right? What else? What else? I really like the step I've made towards filming outside, doing the Divine Partner stuff. That little mini series that I've been doing, which, I don't know how long I'm gonna do that for. I think I might. I don't know if I'm gonna film another video or not today. We'll see. I might just leave it as a little bundle there, and then if I do more of those videos later, I might. Who knows? Or I could just do, like, I could do, like, a closing video where I'm sitting here and I talk about stuff. That maybe I'll do that. Who knows? Doing the Uber and feeling comfortable doing Ubers, that's great. I'm gonna need it because both legs of the trip, from now on, I will not have the accompaniment of the friend who can drive everywhere. I don't know if I mentioned this or not. I feel like I mentioned it yesterday, but if I didn't, like, holy shit, why didn't I talk about this? Yeah, no, there's no way I didn't talk about this, but my buddy got into a car accident yesterday, and He's fine as far as I'm aware. He the front end of his vehicle is fucked. It's technically drivable, but neither him nor I felt comfortable doing a giant ass road trip with it. Um, and then also like, I feel bad because I really did want to hang out with that buddy that's close. Doesn't mean that I couldn't go and like fly out and see him at some point, but I guess it just wasn't meant to be. Um, but yeah, like I think the road trip was pretty ambitious from the start of effectively 10 hours of driving. Like regardless of what anyone says, 10 hours of driving is way too long in a car in one day. It just feels fucked. Um Now, I understand people do road trips where they drive around all day or they're truckers or whatever. It's like, obviously I don't have that experience and I'm not really interested in that experience. So there's nothing wrong with it. It's just, not my preferred method of spending my time. So, um, shame that I didn't get to see the other malls. I got to see the Hoity Toity Mall that like had like all the really really expensive stores all packed together to where like some stores don't even have price tags and they're just like, yeah, you just buy it because price isn't an option, or price isn't an object, so it didn't matter. And I'm like, yeah, fuck that. I'm never gonna go in one of those stores. Well, I don't want to say never, but like I don't see the appeal of buying a brand just because it's a brand. Um, I would much rather buy like fucking Joe Schmo's Emporium brand if it means it's going to be more reliable than whatever name brand is made of fucking whatever. So, um, hmm, what else? I was a little worried about the shower at first. It's pretty small, but I managed. Uh, it's like it really. There's no bathtub. It is just like a shower that is like it is one person, and you can barely fit in it. I'm a bit bigger, so it's like, yeah. Um. Oh, okay. Real quick, I just thought of something really exciting about the weight stuff. This will be the first time in a while that I'm going to be closer to 200 than I am to 300. And that is big because it's like psychologically, it's like the gap to that 280 or the 290 or even the 300 is so big um when you really like think about it. You're like, how did I survive with an extra fucking a weight vest and backpack on at all times? It's like, well, yeah, there's a reason why you were having health issues uh regarding sleep and all of this other stuff. So, and I think it's going to be the same when I get closer to the 200s, which I definitely know that I'm going to start slowing down when I get closer and closer to 200 on the weight loss, unless I start ramping up intensity. But man, like just thinking about the fact that I could be wearing, large shirts at some point or single X shirts is like so exciting. Um, so yeah, but also like, being able to get into planes and not feeling like you need the extendo fucking belt that they have. That'll be another thing where like the Alaska has fucking really awful tight seats for bigger people. And I was able to actually not use an extendo seat, which was big, but it was a tight fit. And I feel like if I went into one of those planes now, um, I feel like I would have plenty of room. Uh, so that's exciting. But anyway, is there anything else that I really want to talk about in regards to this place? Oh, the chiropractor. Man, what a nice guy. What a great little clinical practice he has. I He's just so busy. Just like he's taking like two, three, four people at once sometimes where he was back to back to back to back. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're just doing it. But he still takes like care of each individual person and checks in on them and sees what's going on and yeah, all of that. But I'm really grateful that I was able to kind of run into him and run into the team that he has arrayed around him. So, um, and then that little strip mall with the AMC and the little Chopped, and then across the streets the smoothie place. Like, man, that was it. It was so nice to be able to do that every day, and get all my steppies in, and the walk was always so awesome. Everyone was just so nice. You know, it was just like it was just so good, and I'm so happy and grateful that I've experienced this trip so far. Um, you know, different from South Carolina. Um, North Carolina really has like its own charm, and I really enjoy it. Charlotte as a city is nice, or as a destination. So yeah, I think it's really it's worth coming and visiting, and there's a lot of heart here, and I'm glad that I got to see it. So yeah, don't really know about there's been a lot of reviews talking about how amazing the like bar scene is and all that stuff, and that's not my thing. Not saying that it is or isn't a good thing. I don't know anything about that. So yeah, I just know that like as a whole everyone has been very nice. The only thing I will say about this place, man, people need to learn how to drive better. I watch like almost accidents like so many times while walking. It's crazy. Um, so that's the only thing. I don't know why here people struggle with driving, but you don't even need to drive. You could just walk. So like, um, Yeah, but that's all I'll say. I know. I'm sure that there are people in the comments just furiously. They're going to be typing away at like, you don't even know. It's the roads, man. The roads are what's fucked up. It's not us. It's not our driving. It's like, it's okay, dude. I'm not judging you. Uh, you know, but yeah. So it's been nice, and I'm looking forward to the next stage. St. Louis. Oh boy. Um, haven't heard too much other than, hey, this is a really shady area, and I'm like, really? Like, my friend seemed to think it was fine. Like, it's a good place to live. So maybe there are like, maybe like New York, there are like places that are a little more like rundown or like tougher that you got to be like kind of more careful. But we'll see. And every single person's like, you gotta go on the arch. You gotta go on the arch. And I'm like, okay, I will do the arch. I'm not a particularly big fan of going up fucking elevators that like you can see. I don't even know if it's like glass where you can see below you or whatnot, but I honestly don't even know how they do the sideways elevator on the arch. Like, I'm not even sure how that works. So, is it just like more like a gondola that just brings you up, or I don't fucking know. Um, better not be like a fucking bucket like that. I would not do that. Like, sorry, not sorry. I'm not a big fan of. Look, I've conquered a major part of my like fear of heights, but there's still some like lingering stuff there of like, you know, like now I can look out a plane. That's fine. But like, I don't know if I feel comfortable being in some fucking bucket that just gets hoisted up fucking God knows how many stories. So let's hope that's not the case. Um. Hmm. Anything else? The campuses for the different universities look really cool. So that's something. If you're planning on going to this area for school, you should be pretty happy about it. Hmm. I will say there's a lot of like you can tell that the demographic of people are younger here in general. So I don't know if that matters or not for anyone, but that's something. Yeah, I'm both happy and sad to be leaving. I'm happy because I'm continuing on with my journey and I'm one step closer to whatever is going to show up. But oh, okay. I wanted to mention, sorry, to the person who watched Yumi and Tuscany, like we were in the same theater. It was your birthday at the time. Yeah, sorry that I couldn't get to hang out anymore. I tried another movie on Wednesday, didn't see you, so I was like, probably busy with work or school or whatever the fuck it is. You could be at college, you could be working. or, whatever, right? So I gave it my fair share of attempts. Well, I say attempts. It's just one attempt, but yeah. Also, to be fair, you probably wouldn't have. Like, if you like romantic comedies, don't go see the drama. Like, that is not the standard romantic comedy I was expecting. It is interesting as like uh, it cracks open the idea of like conditional love, um, which I've talked about. But yeah, anyway. But yeah, I hope you had a good birthday. I also think that you have a good energy. So, I don't know if you have a partner or not, but if you don't have a partner, you definitely will. Like, there's going to be someone out there that's going to find you, and they're going to be lucky to, like, have you in their life. So, yeah. Don't give up on love and all of that fun jazz. So, yeah. um, hmm. And to the lady that does the smoothies at the smoothie place. Um, yeah, you were a lot of fun to chat with and hang out with. And I hope your dreams kind of work out as well. Yeah, you have. I know that things will work out for you too. With all of your pursuits, so just remember to breathe and relax and not let things stress you out too much. But you already know that. You've done a lot of shadow work, so I mean, yeah, you're pretty far along on your path. So, and then oh yeah, and forget that person. Like, stop worrying about him. Like, just let it go. I just felt like you needed to know that. So, I've already said it, but just let that guy go. Like, don't worry about it. Okay. Any other things to say? Yeah, it was I'm just so grateful. So, yeah. I guess I'm going to end it here. It's 2:38, so I'm probably still going to do another check-in. But if I don't, have a good night. Um if I do, cool, but yeah. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.